Welcome to Tuesday, the last day of 2024, December 31st, 2024. This podcast being brought to you by Converse County Tourism. Douglas and Glen Rock, Wyoming are bustling with action this holiday season. Plan your excursion, including fun activities, beautiful downtowns, and historic treasures. Learn more at conversecountytourism.com. Well, we are going to be looking at, on this last day of the year, thankfully, a little less wind for many of you. The wind has been relentless on the plains, as we know, while the mountains have been getting frequent snow. Well, today is just going to be a cold, wintry day with some snow flurries around and less wind and some pretty chilly temperatures. Now, also tonight, we could have a possible aurora borealis. We have a geomagnetic storm going on. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, we're going to see another Pacific wave come in Wednesday and Thursday. This will bring mountain snow again, and it will bring a few snow showers to the plains and keep temperatures chilly. Then another system arrives this weekend. And again, it's kind of the same scenario. These Pacific waves will continue to bring more snow to the mountains, some snow showers to the plains, and keep temperatures a bit on the cool side. And we're still looking at an active pattern next week, with the jet stream taking a dip across parts of the U.S., leading to some colder, wintry weather as we start the new year over a lot of the nation, especially from the Rockies and points east. Some snow flurries and snow squalls yesterday reported in many areas. Some of you got a snow flurry, maybe enough to make the grass whiten things up a bit, or you missed out again, and that was certainly the case for folks in Cheyenne who continue to see snow move around and go around, but never on through. And all the way back into Oregon, you can see that Pacific moisture with some great clouds there and a couple of bald eagles. And lenticular clouds were on full display yesterday, all across the region from South Park, Colorado to Green River, Wyoming. How about that view? Wow, beautiful shot there. And a beautiful shot of a winterscape there in the Green River Basin country of western Wyoming and Sublette County. Let's talk quickly about the potential outbreak of aurora borealis tonight. We're under a G3 geomagnetic storm potential. So G3 is pretty good. That's a strong. We have two coronal mass ejections headed to Earth. So there is a fairly good possibility of some mid-latitude auroras. We'll see. We know how these go. Sometimes these really disappoint. Sometimes they surprise you. But there is a chance for a New Year's Eve and New Year's Day aurora across a lot of North America. And here's the latest prediction. That solid red line is where the prediction is, where you might be able to see them. That is just a prediction. That line could end up further north, or that line could end up further south. But there is a chance. And this is what the cloud prediction looks like for 9 o'clock, roughly around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So we're going to have some more clouds move in there from the Pacific Northwest, but there will be breaks in clouds across parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, and South Dakota there. So you may have a chance to sneak in a view before that next Pacific wave comes in. And there it is. Satellite imagery shows kind of a break in the action today right here. This is the little break, but there's cold, moist air coming in. And there's still going to be some flurries in the cold air on the backside of the system. And then this next system approaches and will move in. Now, the weather map across the U.S. today is much less active, so travelers will find a better travel day across the lower 48. But you can see the purple. These are winter weather advisories in effect for areas as far east as the southern mountains of Wyoming, back west as the next Pacific wave brings that snow chance, mainly Wednesday and Thursday. But a little bit of a quieter day across the U.S. This is what the 500 millibar chart shows us. The next Pacific wave here off the coast, the one that came through yesterday, and a little tiny ripple coming through today, which is going to be causing a few snow flurries here and there. The wind gusts today, much more tame. Now, it's going to be windy out into the northern plains and into the plain states, but you can see where the winds have been really bad here lately, especially in this location. Well, the winds are going to take a little bit of a break. Not go away completely, but everybody gets a little bit of a break. But they will pick up again. Now, as we go into the day today, through tomorrow morning, this is the precipitation forecast. So nothing really heavy, but where you see the white You're looking at dry conditions, the gray and the green, showing where there might be a little bit of snow flurry activity. So some snow showers here and there, a few flurries on this last day of the year. Then tomorrow, we have a bit of a stronger wave coming in. It doesn't look like much, but this has been the pattern since late last week. A good chunk of moist air from the Pacific comes in, brings snow to the high country, and a few snow showers on the plains, and the gradient tightens again. You can see a lot of those black lines, so winds aloft are strong, so winds pick up again. Now, these aren't going to be bad, but they do pick up again in the wind-prone areas on New Year's Day. And then as we get into New Year's Day, Wednesday, into Thursday, there's going to be a little bit of moisture coming off the Pacific and across the region again. So you can see that the mountain areas are going to continue to get snow. And as we mentioned yesterday, avalanche dangers are going up, and avalanches have been reported here over the last 24 hours in some locations. So backcountry folks, watch out for that. So this little wave will produce this Wednesday and Thursday, and this is what the snowfall could be like Wednesday and Thursday, with more snow showers and flurries on the plains, with the mountains getting the brunt of the snow. And this will keep our temperatures a bit on the chilly side as well. Then another Pacific wave comes in Saturday and into Sunday. So the high country gets more snow. So the snow beginning to really pile up and add up in the northern and central Rockies and into the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. A lot of very cold air here gathering in eastern Canada, pushing into areas of the Great Lakes, causing lake effect snows and causing a lot of the eastern part of the U.S. to be quite cold by this weekend, and generally cool conditions elsewhere. Then the long-range forecast, and you might be hearing on national news media about potential much colder weather next week over a large part of the U.S., and that is going to happen. The question is, well, there's a lot of questions, but the main question is, how cold will the air be with these first couple of waves next week of Arctic air? And how far westward or how far eastward were the extent of the Arctic air going to be? The latest prediction from the European model here is for the high to be off the Pacific coast, which would allow northerly flow into the Continental Divide and points east. That will allow cold Canadian air to spill in east of the Rockies, from the Rockies east, into the plain states of Great Lakes in the northeast, and likely followed by other Arctic waves. But it's a little early here in the ball game to get too specific, other than the trend for the new year for a lot of the nation is going to be a lot colder, and we'll have more for you on that later. In the meantime, have a great New Year's Eve and a Happy New Year.